Hi, Scott here from Vino, Las Vegas, and we're up here today. We're going to be visiting the Santa Barbara Vintners Festival, but today we came up early so we could talk to a few people. I'm here with Karen Steinwaltz, winemaker for Buttonwood, and Graham Palmer, the enologist here. And we were just discussing the vineyard, and just, first of all, just talking about, how did you, I know you started at Fiddlehead?
Started at Foley.
At Foley, okay.
Well, first 25 years in high tech, but
There you go.
Foley in 2001, 3 vintages, and then Fiddlehead, 3 vintages. And I used to come to Buttonwood all the time for the events, which Graham was now in charge of.
Okay.
And they were just such a stellar place. It's a farm as well as a vineyard, and there's you probably drove through the peach orchard.
Yes.
So I loved it here, and when I heard that the previous winemaker who had been there since the beginning of the winery's founding was leaving because he has a very big brand of his own, I jumped at the chance. So
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
So tell us about the varietals that you hear. Your flagship is Sauvignon Blanc.
Sauvignon Blanc, and this is a Sauvignon Blanc block here. We have most of the vineyard, about 9 acres, I guess, of Sauvignon Blanc. These ones are main blocks. There's a teeny tiny little block of Sauvignon Blanc over by that tree on the far west there, or east, which was grafted, which we actually made a different wine this year called Zini from that little block.
Mm-hmm.
So white Sauvignon Blanc, Marsanne, and some Semillon that goes into our main Sauvignon Blanc bottling in a kind of classic blend, and then we make a late harvest Semillon dessert wine as well. And on the reds we have Cabernet Franc, my favorite, Cabernet Sauvignon Merlot, and Syrah. Syrah, we make a Syrah Noir, a red wine, and we also make a Syrah Rosé.
Okay. And we were talking earlier that you planted a couple rows of stuff to maybe do some Bordeaux blends in the future.
Well, we do a blend now called Trevin, which is a classic Merlot, Cab Franc, Cab Sauv blend.
Right.
But we grafted about 4 acres of the Merlot over to Malbec, Grenache Noir, and Grenache Blanc.
Okay.
The Malbec for the Bordeaux red, and then the Grenache Blanc probably for a white Rhone blend to go with our Marsanne, give it a little bit of interest, and Grenache Noir, we just love it. So we think it'll kind of work out to be a nice spice cabinet.
It's a beautiful vineyard, and we were talking earlier about there's several different important corridors here. About, as you can see, the vineyard is rolling. There's continually rolling. There's very few flat areas. I don't even see hardly any flat areas here in the vineyard. Everything's rolling. So Karen, why don't you explain to me about the significance of these corridors that are running here?
Okay, well, this is we're right off Alamo Pintado Road here in the eastern part of the San Ynez Valley. San Ynez Valley going west and east. There's significant differences as you move east or west in climate and soils and temperature and fog, because we get a lot of maritime fog from the Pacific. So here we kind of think of this as the Los Olivos district, this corridor, the Alamo Pintado corridor. And there's an awful lot of great Sauvignon Blanc that's grown here. It doesn't get it gets really nice and warm during the day to ripen it, but it gets really cold at night, so the acids stay up. Happy Canyon is kind of another area in the San Ynez Valley farther to the east, which is much warmer than it is here and doesn't probably get as much of the maritime influence. And then right over the ridge there is the Ballard Canyon corridor, where you've got Roussac over there and Tierra Alta and a few vineyards like that, and kind of the Beckman vineyard, which you can kind of see there, which is he's got a lot of Rhone varietals that grow up there. But down this corridor, down the Alamo Pintado corridor, Sauvignon Blanc for sure, and there's a lot of Italian varietals from the Honey Vineyard and the Walker Vineyard, and kind of vineyards on both sides of this. It's a river, creek bed, so it's the Alamo Pintado Creek, and there's kind of 2 hills on both sides. So
Okay.
lots of different stuff here in Santa Barbara.
So how many acres do you have under planted right now?
39 here. It's about most of the vineyard's about 25 years old. Our founder, Betty Williams, the vineyard and winery is 19 years old this year, I guess.
Yep.
We used to just sell fruit. So, and Betty will be 90 this year. She's a really neat lady, and was originally a thoroughbred horse farm. It was planted to her favorite varietals, Sauvignon Blanc mostly. She likes that best. And up here, all the vineyards up here on the mesa, which, if you notice, the tasting room is quite
Right,
a bit at a lower
right.
altitude. And that's where the other crops are, the peaches and the almonds and the pears and goats.
You see, I really like that when the vineyards, several vineyards that we visited, they incorporate, the olive trees, like especially, further north, like up in the Edna Valley area, a lot of vineyards have the olive trees going, and you have the goats and you have the peaches, and to me it's all about, the wine and the vineyard is the main thing, but it's also you're surrounding it with other agriculture to just go with the vineyard, and I think it's an important thing. I really do.
Well, it's good for the quality of the crops. It's also good for the people that work here because we're a sustainably farmed entity, and we also grow pomegranates here, so they are the last thing to come in, and so we have work all year.
Great,
so we
that's
don't have
good.
to lay people off. They have full-time employment throughout the year, and boy, you think making wine is bad? Try crushing pomegranates.
That's okay. It was you could appreciate the story when we were at Edna Valley. I was sitting there, and I've seen olive trees, and there was an olive on the ground, so I picked it up, and of course my wife Elaine is from, she lived many years up in Monterey in this area. I'm from Florida. We have oranges and tangerines, citrus. So like, oh, okay, so I go, I'm going to try this. She goes, I don't think you want to try it. I go, why not? I said, I'd been into it. Oh my gosh, it was so bitter. And she had to explain to me, it have to be cured. I go, oh, well, I'm used to just picking oranges off a tree and eating them. So,
I did that same thing with olives.
Did you? Yeah, see, I don't feel so bad. But thank you guys for taking us up here. It's beautiful, and actually showing, because this is when you really learn, is to actually come up here and actually look and see it, because we've done harvest and crush and punch down and stuff like that, but it's really good to take our readers and our viewers up here to actually see it as well. And you can also see bud break, which we spoke about a few weeks ago in Edna Valley. It's breaking here too as well. So it looks like you have another harvest.
Harvest is on its way.
On the way.
You said
Yes,
you did punch downs?
Oh, yes.
Oh, good.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of, it gives you a good workout there.
So you'll be back October?
Probably October. No, yep. You never know. We might stop by. We were down in Lompoc last year doing punch down and harvest and stuff and crush, so hand sorted Pinot Noirs.
Oh, yeah.
So now is the best part of the trip. We're going to actually get to see the finished product of where it all began right here. So we're going to go walk down there, drive down the hill, and experience some of the wines.
You got it.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Marsanne, which is kind of unusual. Don't you wish you had one of these in your kitchen?
This is great.
We call these, our president is Betty's son-in-law. His name is Brett Davenport.